today's topic is settlements. So, what is a settlement? A settlement is a place where people live. We get three types of settlements. The first one is rural, second one is suburban, and urban. Rural settlements. So, as we can see in the picture, there is a lot of space, it's very open, and we can see there's a tractor there. It looks like a farm, it's out more in nature. So we can start off by saying that a place is outside of the city. It has lots of space. There's not many people living in the settlement. We can see because there's not a lot of houses there. So there's not many people who live there. And people who live in a rural settlement often work on the land, they grow crops, or they look after animals. So an example of a rural settlement is farms and villages. Urban settlements. So as we can see in the picture, we have tall buildings there. Everything is very close together. It's very a lot more smaller. The spaces are all occupied. So we can see that people live close together there in the buildings. There's a lot less space, so there's not much space there. When the rural settlement, there was a lot of open space and a lot more nature. Here we can see there's just more buildings. So there's a lot of people that live in the city, and in the city we get tall buildings, lots of shops and malls, cars, and many schools. An example would be towns and cities. The third one, we get suburban settlements. So these are places where it's really close to the city. So people live in these areas, and it's mostly houses with gardens, and there are a few parks and maybe even a few shops as well. So it's kind of like a mix between the city and the rural areas, just with quieter streets, but there is more green and kids can play outside, so there's a bit more space. There's not many tall buildings. There's normally just some shops and cafes, or coffee shops and small restaurants. An example would be Irene, Highveld, or South Downs. Quiz time. So what settlement is this? Yes, this is an urban settlement. What settlement is this? This is an suburban settlement. This settlement is an urban settlement. This settlement is a rural settlement. We can see that because there's so much space there. It's very open. This settlement is a suburban place or settlement because there's a lot of houses where people are living, not a lot of buildings, tall buildings. What settlement is this? This is a rural settlement, and we can see that because there's so much nature, it's a lot more open, there's only a few houses, there's not a lot of tall buildings, and it's definitely not a city. So this is definitely a rural settlement.